Hi guys and welcome back to CASA. Today I decided to follow some of your recommendations and to give you finally some tips publicly and with a video about my own city, Milan. So I chose 3 areas which I would love you to visit, whether you're a first timer or you've already been there. And to do so, I am trying out the new Hublot they created for the World Cup in Qatar, the FIFA World Cup, so soccer, which is connected watch, a smartwatch, is the Big Bang E. You know, I'm not the biggest fan of smartwatches. I think they're super useful, but it's not something I would go for. So they borrowed me the watch to see if I'm convinced about luxury smartwatches. So let's start off with the watch itself. It's a Big Bang. I'm describing it in one of the most interesting areas in Milan, so we start off from there. Let's start off here at Navigli in Milan, one of the most interesting areas, with a super interesting part of the video, which is obviously kind of a review of the watch itself. It's from the Big Bang family of Hublot, so you know they have big cases. This is a 44mm case in black ceramic with matte finishing that I really like, and for once I'm not saying this is big because it has a touch screen and you need the touch screen to use fully the watch, not just the timekeeping part. So for once it's okay to have a large watch, and I won't criticize that. As you know, I am super critical. You can track whatever of your body, of your heart frequency, of your footsteps. You can watch the football matches, listen to your music. It does whatever a smartwatch do. So let's start off walking there around Navigli. Navigli is one of the most important areas in Milan. Now we will set my footsteps counter, and it's super typical because we have water. We have the aquatic part of Milan that was used to transport commercial and material goods to build up the Duomo, the cathedral we have that I'm sure you know, and many more. It was the third harbor in the whole country in terms of weighting of what was transferred there. And here we have the Iron Bridge, the most typical part. And if you're lucky enough, like as I am today, it's Saturday, so you have a flea market where you can find whatever. It's an area where you can eat, have street food, have beer. Most cocktail bars are there. It's super enjoyable. Even if you've already been there, there's always something to discover. And now we're gonna walk to a second area nearby that is super interesting, so come with me. A walk in this neighborhood, which is always more or less Navigli from we came, is really cool, as you have a lot of small shops about vintage, about whatever you want to find that is unconventional, as it's a super alternative neighborhood. And here we're in the heart of it. It's Colonna di San Lorenzo, the most Roman part of Milan that was kind of rebuilt during the medieval times, and now it's an institution for Milan. We're super emotionally attached to it because it reminds us of good old days. And of course you have a lot of good places. Here you have Rugantino, a restaurant that has also a view on the Colonne, and it's nice as you come there, you bring your drink, and you can enjoy the vibe and the people around. The watch for the moment has been pretty cool. Of course, I've chosen to have it in the Quatar version, which is super comfortable. You have the sensor right there, and of course, if you want to change teams, or also they may find you an Italian flag, you can get the strap changed super quickly and super easily, but it's also super solid. Feels good on the wrist. It's pretty big, but as we said, it's okay. And now it's time to enjoy this area, which, as I said, it's really good old Roman days. After that, I will bring you to have a passeggiata, the typical Milanese walk, and the most famous park. But for the moment, come with me and have a look. Is finally the restful part of it. Parco Sempione, a great place to have a walk, great place to have a picnic and amazing place to look at the Sforza Castle and at the Arco della Pace that we're going to see now. It was before a kind of woods where they hunt and also where a lot of military people and military forces had their base. And nowadays it's just a park where you can have a rest, have a walk, have an aperitivo nearby, and obviously look at two important monuments. As I mentioned, Sforza Castle, which I think you know and which is more cliche, so we won't go there to have a look. And of course, the Arco we're going to now. I want to check my watch to see how long it took us, and for the moment I've been walking a lot, more than 1 hour and a half, and for more than 3.4 kilometers, and obviously I burned 375 calories, and that's, I think, the most useful part, because maybe with a smartwatch I would go to the gym or have more walks, but yeah, useful. Prefer mechanical watches, but it's not that bad. Pretty comfortable. Let's go have a look at the Arco della Pace. And here we finally are at the Arco della Pace, or Arco Sempione. It is Piazza Sempione. This is Corso Sempione, which goes to France and to Geneva, as you know I'm familiar with it. And now, for me, the itinerary goes like, you finish your walk in the park after whatever you did during the day. Maybe you had lunch at Navigli where I brought you, and before whatever, maybe you just arrived. So you're here now at sunset, you have a beer or whatever, and since we're really close to one or possibly my favorite neighborhood, now we're going there. Aperitivo, maybe here or maybe in Paolo Sarpi or Chinatown, where you can have all the street food you like, all the Asian food for sure. And there are a lot of places like Cantina or so, where you can have a great glass of wine. So now come with me. It's our last itinerary. You've seen we've walked a lot. Also with this configuration of the watch, I have also the power reserve, the chronograph, whatever the date. It's not really a chronograph, it's more of a date. And really, what I said, the power reserve, super useful. You have a lot of configurations for the watch. And so now it's time to do our last walk and sip something and have a glance of it. Let's go. So we're finally in Chinatown. It was formerly called Borgo degli Ortolani because a lot of sellers of fruits and vegetables were based there. Nowadays it's Chinatown since 1920s. It became super famous in whole Lombardia, and now it's full of tiny shops, Asian food, Asian stuff shops, and it's the end of our tour. You have Cantina Isola to drink something, you have all the super typical places to eat dumplings or moes or whatever you like to, and the watch says that it's finally time to go home. We've used the whole day, so the power reserve is no longer there. I forgot to mention it's powered by the Google system for smartwatches, and with Paolo Sarpi and Chinatown is the end of our tour. It's my favorite neighborhood. It's full of amazing places, and it's finally over. First episode of the Milan tour. Thanks to Hublot for having me and for borrowing the watch. I'll stick to my good old mechanical watches, but yeah, that was cool. I'll use it to the gym. See you later. Let me know what you want to see in Milan. What suggestion would you like to know? And what are your thoughts about the watch? Bye bye.